Dear Mr. Stu, my child has autism and I've noticed they often seem distant or prefer playing alone. I worry that I'm not connecting with them in the right way. What's the most misunderstood thing about kids with autism that I need to know? There are lots of misconceptions about autism, children with autism, individuals with autism, and there's not really a one size fits all answer. In the world of mental health and in the world of autism, we say if you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. Everybody is different, just like every single person in this world is different. I can't just say, like, oh, well, here's the one thing. But I can think of a couple that are common misconceptions. The first one that I really want to say is that autism is looked at as this huge, overwhelming diagnosis where if your child is diagnosed with autism, that it's just almost like a death sentence kind of feeling. And that should not be the case at all. As a matter of fact, if your child is diagnosed with autism, what that means is there's a name for this thing, and because there's a name for it, there's a best way that we can support them. If there was no name for it, then you can have some cause for panic because then we don't know what's going on, we don't know how to help, we don't know how to support. If your child has been diagnosed with autism, great. Now we know some of the best things that we can do to help them as they grow. So, misconception number one is that it should be looked at as just this huge, overwhelming stress, burden, whatever it might be. It is not, okay? If your child is diagnosed with autism, they need support. If they weren't diagnosed with autism, they're going to need support. Even if they don't have any mental health diagnosis at all, they're going to need support because they're children and children need support. So, there's misconception number one. But the one that I want to focus on with your question specifically is that sometimes people believe that individuals with autism don't want to connect with other people. And that is not true. It can be that individuals with autism, just like individuals who are not diagnosed with autism, prefer to be more alone. I prefer to be more alone. I know sometimes it can seem like I'm this big extrovert because I speak at conferences and I do trainings and I'm always out there. When I get home, I like to sit in a dark room and be quiet for a long time before I'm ready to get back out there. So it's not that individuals with autism don't want to connect. It's that maybe the way they're going to show connection is different. For instance, I have a client and the way that he shows affection is just by putting his arm around his mother. It's not that he always is talking about how much he loves her and he says thank you all the time or anything like that, but he just likes to put his arm around his mother. And that's the way that he shows affection, that he shows how much he loves to be around her. So don't believe that just because it might not look the way that you're used to, that your child doesn't want to connect with you or that they don't feel connected to you. Look for those ways that you can see, oh my goodness, they are showing me that they love me, or they are showing me that they enjoy this moment with me right now. And if you'll look for those things, you'll see all the time that individuals with autism do like to make connections. It's just that sometimes the way they show connection is different than the ways that other people would show connection. And again, that's something we all do. The way that I show affection and the way that I show that I enjoy being around people is different than other people's ways that they show that affection and show that they enjoy being around people. So don't believe that autism is something to be afraid of, and don't believe that they don't want to connect, and also look for those ways that you can see the connection is being made. If you'll do that, then you'll see that your child likely very much enjoys being around you. You've just got to look for the signs and look for the personalized ways that they're trying to send that message to you. Hopefully this answer was helpful. If it was, make sure that you like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the mental health fun tips and tricks here at Mr. Stu TV.